What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hasan and welcome back to another video. So I think whether we're aware of it or not, we've all experienced our own glitch in the matrix at some point in our lives and we'll probably experience many more before we die. And I know we've done 3 glitches in the matrix type videos in the past, so don't worry, I went through every single one of them, made sure I had no repeat stories, so we're good. So let's just get into this fresh top 10 list. These are the top 10 mysterious glitches in the matrix. Starting us off with number 10 is the twin dream. This one is actually uncanny, like I've never heard of it happening before, so I was like mind blown. Either way, this one was shared by an anonymous person who said the story actually happened to their dad. The dad works for an AC and heating company, so he goes to people's houses to fix their units, you get the gist. Either way, 5 years ago the dad had a dream that he went to an elderly woman's house to fix her boiler. He'd never met her before, never been to her house before, but the whole dream was just hyper realistic. They chatted for about 10 minutes and then he left and then he woke up. Either way, the dream happened, the dad didn't really think too much of it, and a week later his company got a call from an old woman needing her boiler fixed. The dad goes to the house and when he gets there, his heart literally skips a beat. It's the same house from his dream, the exact same lady, and as soon as she sees him she goes, "Hi Gary." He hasn't even introduced himself, mind you. So obviously he asks her how she already knew his name and she says she had a dream last week that he had come to fix her boiler. So these two total strangers who've never seen each other had the exact same dream about meeting each other at the exact same time. Like, how does that even happen? I legit thought you could only dream about people whose face you'd seen before. I mean, like, that's the biggest glitch if I've ever heard of one. Legit, just saying. Coming in at number 9 is the disappearing accident. So this one's from Redditor Mark of Shame, who said he was driving home during a storm one day and he saw the side road up ahead had been blocked off by flashing barricades. Beyond the barricade he saw a Mercedes with its hazard lights on, so he was like, shit, maybe they need some help. And as an EMT, he was trained for this, so he went over there, shined his light in the back seat, and saw a man slumped over who looked like he was asleep. Now the user assumed the people were drunk and shone some light in the front of the car as well. And this is where it gets creepy. The driver was just sitting upright, just staring ahead of him. He didn't blink or flinch from the lights, he didn't even respond to the user tapping on his window. It was like he was in a trance. The passenger next to the driver was also slumped over on the dashboard, and slightly creeped out, the user decided to call the sheriff. While on the phone, he went back to his own car to get his go bag, and then the sheriff asks him for the car's number plate. As he turns around to check the number, a massive truck comes down blocking the Mercedes. The user goes around the truck to find the Mercedes nowhere to be found. It was a dead end lane, it had trees on one side and barricades on the other, like where could the car have physically gone? And honestly, by the sounds of the passengers, I feel like they're on the highest level of drugs or they were just not from our dimension. Drugs I have yet to try. At number 8 we have the egg. Okay, I'm aware this title is a bit funny. I feel like anytime I open the selfie camera unexpectedly I look like a double-chinned egg. I kid you not. I always tell my friends I'm an egg, but anyway, that's just irrelevant. You guys cannot call me an egg in the comments. Anyway, this story is from Redditor Super Unhappy Fun Time, which doesn't give off mixed signals at all. But anyway, at the user's workplace they have breakfast laid out for them every single morning, and this breakfast is basically a buffet of eggs, bacon, etc. I wish we had a buffet when we got into work, like that would make my life. Anyway, the spread feeds about a dozen people and the user was usually the first person to work most days, so the kitchen was completely empty. He went over to the egg tray which had 12 eggs in it. The tray was filled with 12 eggs, and so he takes one, goes to the bin, peels the egg, and when he walks back there are magically 12 eggs in the tray again. Mind you, no one entered the kitchen while he was peeling the egg, so where the hell did this egg come from? He even started touching this mysterious egg and it seemed to be the same temperature as the eggs around it. Then doubting himself, he was like, did I even pick up an egg and peel it? And obviously the peeled egg was in his hand, so he definitely did. So this mysterious glitch in the matrix resulted in an extra egg in the universe. Gotta love it. Now I'm craving eggs. I'm just craving any food. Filling our number 7 slot is the delivery. So this one was shared by an anonymous person who said they used to deliver pizzas during college to make money. One day the person had a delivery that would have taken them about 20 minutes to complete there and back. When they finally got back to the store, their manager was mad, asking them why it had taken so long to deliver this one pizza. The person was confused and asked what the manager meant, and the manager goes, "You took 1 hour and 7 minutes to deliver this pizza." The person was dumbfounded, and then they realized, wait, I don't even remember delivering this pizza. Like, I remember getting back into the store when they got back, but that's literally it. The person continued on saying they don't do drugs, they don't drink, they weren't abducted by aliens in the interim during the delivery, so they have no idea where that time went and what happened. Honestly, I feel bad for this person who went through this, but as the person ordering that pizza, I'd be pissed as hell if my pizza delivery took that long. Like, I'm not here to have some cold ass pizza that took 1 hour and 7 minutes to get to my house. I'm not gonna pay for that. I refuse. Now at number 6 is the barbecue shift. This one was submitted by an anonymous person who said this glitch happened to them back in 2012. At the time, the girl was 19, living at home with her sister and parents, and she had a job at a barbecue place at the time. One day she came home from her shift and her sister said, "Oh, I thought you were off today." The girl thought, why would she think that? I left at 5 AM this morning before anyone was awake. So she asked her sister, like, hello, when did I even say that? And her sister was like, 2 hours ago when I went into your room, you were in bed snuggled under your covers and we had a proper 15-minute conversation. And the girl was like, no, we definitely did not. Smell the barbecue smoke and sauce on me, I've been at work all day. The girl and her sister then got super freaking creeped out, and honestly, neither of them felt comfortable in that room ever again. How do you have a 15-minute conversation with someone that's not there? I don't get it. The glitch is real. Coming in at number 5 is the woods incident. So this one's from Reddit user Boring Psychopath, who said when he was a kid he was in the wooded area of his yard with his mum. They were taking pictures of old cars to sell them, and all of a sudden his mum heard some rustling in the bushes nearby and told him to run. The user kicked off his flip-flops and ran for his life, and as he was going, he heard a clanking sound behind him like something had just jumped on top of the cars. The boy was running, and eventually got back to his house, and while running, he didn't see his mum at all. When he got into the house panicking, he saw his mum was sitting at the table reading the newspaper. The user was so confused he had no idea how she had teleported without them even crossing paths. He ended up asking her about it as an adult, and she said she definitely remembered the cars they had to sell, but she didn't recall the running incident at all. So what was this kid running from? What jumped on these cars? Is this mum even legit? I don't really know. At number 4 is the plane crash. Now this one is a bit weird, and I low-key feel like this guy lived the same day twice, so let me know what you guys think. This one was submitted by an anonymous person who said this day happened not long after 9/11 on a Friday. The guy got up to go to class, and he had one of those mornings where nothing was sort of going right. He broke a glass trying to get something to drink, he tripped on his way to his car and ended up being late to class since there was some car wreckage on the way. Sounds like it just wasn't your day, man, but don't worry since your due of it is coming very soon. Either way, while at school he was told about a plane crashing. The wings had apparently blown off. He heard about it, then continued on with his day, he went to work and then he went home. The next morning his roommate ends up waking him up asking if he plans on skipping class or not. Somehow the guy woke up and it was Friday again. He refused to believe it, and his roommate spent 20 minutes convincing him it was indeed Friday. So confused, this dude gets up again, goes to class, sees the glass he broke yesterday perfectly intact, he sees the car wreckage on his way to school as well, so most things are kind of going the same as the first time he lived the Friday. At school he was waiting to hear about the plane crash, but it never happened. He never gets told about it, and the day ends up being quite normal. It's the same as the other one except no plane crash. So how the hell did this guy live in the same day twice with completely different things happening? Like, someone please tell me. I would honestly be so pissed if I lived my Friday, was so excited to wake up on my weekend on the Saturday, and then my roommate is like, you were going to class, bro? No! I already did Friday once. Filling our number 3 slot is the cousin. So this girl apparently knew her cousin died and how he died before he actually did. One day her mum tells her that she was sad to say that her cousin had died, and before she could finish the girl was like, yeah, from an overdose, right? And the mum was shocked that the girl already knew before she'd said it. The girl didn't understand because she was 110% sure that her mum had told her that same cousin died the year before from an overdose. And mind you, the girl hadn't even met this cousin, barely even knew him if she knew him at all, and she didn't even know he was on drugs till she got told he died. So when her mum told her a year later again that he had died, she seriously thought she was screwing with her. She even asked her mum to show her the death date, and only then did she believe her. But what even? Like, how do you know someone died from what they died from a year before they actually died? How many times have I said died in this paragraph? It could be a drinking game of juice for our PG viewers. Wink wink. Now at number 2 is First Street. I feel like this is a foreshadowing glitch, if you will. So this was shared by an anonymous user on Reddit, and they said they have an Android phone. Woohoo, Android! Anyway, and the phone has a Google Cards feature that notifies you when you're this many minutes away from your house. The user thought the feature was useless, probably so would I, and they turned it off. Months passed and the user never got any card notifications, but one night while they were at home eating pizza, they got a card pop up saying 35 minutes to home. The phone pinned them to an intersection they'd never even been to on the other side of town. Let's just call it First Street. Either way, the user was like, what the hell, I'm not even there, I've never even been there. They went to turn their card settings off, but it was already off. Brushing it off as a glitch, they just didn't give it much thought until it happened again the next night. Again, the user checks the card notifications and they're still off. So why do they keep getting notified about being on First Street when they're clearly at home? But here's where it gets really weird. A few days later, the user and their friend are running errands and the friend misses the road exit, so he takes the next one. Once on the next one, he has no idea where they are and tries turning left, but ends up getting crashed into by another car. Their wheel gets completely screwed, and since they had their kids in the car, the user decides to call their sister to pick them up. When she asks them for the location, the person checks and they end up being at the First Street intersection 35 minutes from home. Dun dun dun. Silence. And finally, at number 1 is Coda. So this one actually has CCTV footage as evidence, so like this is a proper documented glitch in the Matrix. This story was shared by an anonymous Reddit user whose post now got deleted, but anyway, who said a few weeks ago their dog Coda came into their bedroom and kept trying to jump on their bed. She kept falling and eventually gave up, and a few minutes later the user gets a call and they go downstairs to answer it. The user's grandma was on the phone saying she'd made some food and to come over and eat it. So the user puts her jacket on, gets her keys, Coda's leash, the dog herself, and drives over. She got there, the two were eating, they were chilling, they were bonding, nice grandma-granddaughter bonding time, etc. And when she was about to leave, they couldn't find Coda anywhere. They searched for ages, but she was nowhere to be found. The user decided to go home and come back the next day in daylight and search more. Devastated, the user drove home, went to sleep dogless, and woke up at a crazy time like 6 AM because she heard something downstairs. It was Coda. So confused but thrilled, she assumed Coda had gotten lost and found her way home. Either way, she went over to her grandma's that day to tell her she'd found the dog, and then she was like, did I even bring Coda to yours yesterday? And the grandma was like, yeah, of course you did, you left her leash here. The user then asked her grandma to check the footage from her camera to double check, and this is where it gets bloody creepy. Now the footage showed them Coda entering the house with the user but never leaving with her. It didn't even show Coda leaving the house on her own and getting lost. Like, she literally entered the house, never left, and then magically made it back to her own house without leaving her grandma's house. Somebody tell me how this dog has defied the laws of physics and life and done this. Coda, you're a good girl. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's it for today's video, guys. I've never done a glitch in the Matrix video, so I was honestly loving this. I love it when weird shit happens that we can't explain. We just have to live with it and accept it. Nothing's ever happened to me because I feel like all these glitches are coming and I'm like dodging them like the guy from the Matrix. Anyway, let me know what your favorite one from the list was, and if you had any glitchy Matrix experiences of your own, tell me below. As always, I'm your host Ayman Hasan, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!